his last 3 decisions to Baltimore, Cleveland, and Seattle. But in the last 5 starts for Blue, his teammates have managed to bring him only 8 runs. Well, we're getting some big drops. And also a word, apparently. The Tiger officials have a pipeline to the Weather Bureau, and it's been extremely reliable in the past. And the grounds crew is now beginning to bring out the separate tarps to cover the home plate area and the mound, despite the fact that I saw a big drop or 2, and I don't see anything right now, but it apparently is going to be just opening up here in a moment. And I guess it's better to be ready for it. If it's a sure thing, and it looks like it's 100% guarantee that we're going to get some rain here any second at Tiger Stadium. So they covered the mound, covered the plate. The grounds crew on the ropes now, beginning to roll out the big tarp, and it appears that we're going to have a delay in the start of this ball game. Right now, we'll take the opportunity to pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network. Nestor Shylock, the crew chief of the umpiring crew on hand for this series, is out right now talking with Mike Pinnell and Frank Fennick, the assistant directors of stadium operations in charge of grounds maintenance. They have a big tarp roll near the left field foul line. They've not unrolled it as yet. They're waiting, I guess, for the anticipated rain. As I said before, they've got the small pieces of tarp covering the mound and the plate. And apparently the word is that we're going to get an awful lot of rain in a very short time. But so far not. And I think they're hoping perhaps, of course, obviously hoping that it bypasses the stadium area. But there has been a forecast all day long of severe thunderstorm activity, and some areas of Detroit have already received it late this afternoon, and then again just moments ago. We've had a tornado watch out earlier. I don't know whether that is still in effect or not, but it had covered Wayne County for a number of hours. And so the weather is really the dominating factor here at the stadium tonight. It will determine more of what happens, perhaps, than the starting lineups that I should be giving you right now. But let's check those starting lineups while we sit and wait and find out what the elements are going to provide. For the visiting, at least, gets to bat in the first inning and then usually takes a spot. But he rarely gets an opportunity to play in the field. Batting second in right field, Manny Sanguillen. Alexander, they have him listed at shortstop, but he rarely gets an opportunity to play in the field. Batting second in right field, Manny Sanguillen. Hitting third, the third baseman, Wayne Gross. Batting fourth at first base will be Dick Allen. Hitting fifth, doing the catching, Earl Williams. Batting sixth, the designated batter for Oakland, Rich McKinney. Hitting seventh, playing in center field, Tony Armas. Batting eighth, second baseman, Marty Perez. Batting ninth, in left field, Jim Torone. The A's lineup again, Alexander leading off, listed as shortstop. Followed by Sanguillen in right, Gross at third, Allen at first, Williams catching, McKinney the DH, Armas in center, Perez at second, and Tyrone in left field. Well, the crew chief of the umpiring staff, Nestor Shylock, says take those tarps off the mound and roll that thing back against the barrier. They've got the meeting at home plate. We might try to get this game underway right now because while somebody may have been crying wolf, I don't know, but the rain has not dropped here at Tiger Stadium. For the Tigers tonight, leadoff man will be center fielder Ron LaFleur. Batting second at second base, Tito Fuentes. Hitting third in right field, Ben Ogilvy. Batting fourth, left fielder Steve Kemp. Hitting fifth and in at first base tonight, Mickey Stanley. Batting sixth, the designated batter for Detroit tonight, John Walkenfuss. Hitting seventh, doing the catching, Milt May. Batting eighth at third base, Phil Mankowski. And batting ninth, shortstop, Tom Verizor. Ralph Houk working in a couple of right-hand hitters against the left-hander Vida Blue. As Jason Thompson gets a rest and Mickey Stanley goes in to play first base, Rusty Staub still nursing that sore foot. And he's out of action as Walkenfuss, the right-hand batter, takes over as the Tiger DH. And Ben Ogilvy is back in the outfield for the first time in a week and a half. Tigers now moving out to their defensive positions. We're going to try to get this game underway here at Tiger Stadium. And trotting out to the mound is John Hiller. And before the game begins, let's pause for these messages.
From the driller in Alaska to the roustabout in Texas, from the driver in Atlanta to the welder in Wyoming.
Getting oil out of the ground is one thing. Turning it into something people can use is another. We got people together we thought could do it better, and we called the company Marathon.
From the engineer in Denver to the trucker in Ohio, from the salesman in Chicago to the foreman in Nebraska, we got together to do it better.
Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better. Special weekend reports, news, weather, and sports updates. America's favorite music and entertaining hosts. It's all part of WJR's Great Weekend. Saturdays and Sundays on WJR Radio.
Well, I want to apologize to our listeners. Just as I called for the commercials, that's when they began to play our national anthem here at Tiger Stadium. Perhaps I can go back now to describing the cloud formations overhead. We're getting a little break in the clouds. The run of the storm apparently has moved a bit north of the stadium. I had been in contact with our engineer back at WJR in the Fisher Building, which is just up the road a couple of miles to the north, and it was really coming down around the Fisher Building just a few minutes ago, but it did not come down here. I saw a couple of big drops, and that was about it. Now, we've still got a lot of big black clouds overhead, and a forecast of some occasional thunderstorm activity for the remainder of the evening until this front gets out of the way. So it could be a kind of a dodge the drops night here at Tiger Stadium. In case you missed the earlier announcement on the pregame program, Aurelio Rodriguez, the Tigers' third baseman, has been activated, removed from the disabled list. He has been eligible to come off the list now for some time, but the move was made today. Rodriguez is now an active member of the Tigers, and he was placed on that disabled list, you may recall, back on April 27th with sprained ligaments in his right ankle. So he missed the entire month of May. And to make room for Rodriguez on the 25-man roster, Mark Wagner has been optioned to Evansville, where Mark will be able to see a lot of live pitching and play considerably more down there with the triplets. Matt Alexander, a unique man, or actually performing a unique function for the Oakland club, will be leading it off. A man with great speed, occasionally gets the bat on the ball, and they hope that he gets on base because he rarely gets a chance to play defensively. Up there to lead it off against John Hiller. Here for the play-by-play, Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. Here we go. Alexander at the plate, batting right-handed, takes a strike call. He's a switch batter, but he's up there right against Hiller. Alexander has 3 hits and 8 trips. That's the batting mark of .375. Here's a ball outside, and the count even 1-1 on him. Mankowski at third, Barazza short, Fuentes at second, and Stanley playing first tonight. Line drive hit to left field. He starts it off with a single. The ball fielded by Kemp, and Alexander, who can really go, is over there at first base. He's had 10 stolen bases in 13 attempts so far this year. Oh, we might see that running game early. Here's Manny Sanguillen, the right-hand batting right fielder.
That's what they got him up there to lead off for, to try to get on and stir things up on the base paths.
Stanley holding on the bag with Matt the Scat. He's edging off a little bit now. Good-sized lead for him, and Hiller flips one over the first. Alexander back easily, standing up. Breeze is blowing out from the plate toward the outfield, and maybe a little bit across from right toward left. Flip to first, he's back in time again.
Hiller normally does not keep the runners close very often at first base.
Now the set by John, the look over there. The runner doesn't go. The pitch is in too close, ball 1 on Sanguillen. Manny batting .287 in 45 games. A couple of home runs and 22 runs batted in for him. Alexander going. The pitch is high. Throw to second by May. Not in time. It bounces off the glove of Fuentes. He's backed up by Verizza. And it'll be a fairly easy stolen base for Alexander. That puts the A's with a man at second base and nobody down. And the count on Sanguillen is a ball two. Alexander keeping an eye on Fuentes. Also carrying on the conversation at the same time. There's a fly ball lifted to right field. Back goes Ogilvy. He's there now. Gloves it. Here's the tag, and the runner, Alexander, makes it easily into third. Been sort of lobbing the ball in. That shoulder's probably still hurting him a little bit. And it was easy for Alexander to cruise on into third base. He's at third now with one away, and the batter will be Gross, the left-hand batting third baseman with a .268 average. Up among the leaders in home runs, he has 11. Zist is leading the major leagues in home runs with 14. Scott has 12. That's George Scott of Boston. Gross has 11. Heisel and Evans, 11 apiece in the American League. Say leads the National League with 13. Mercer has 12. Here's the set down, the pitch to Gross. He takes a curve over from John Hiller. Burroughs has 11 in the National League. Foster has 11, and Reggie Smith has 12. Tigers are playing their infield back at this stage of the game with a man at third and one down. And Gross looks at a strike, a fastball that grabbed the outside corner, had a little mustard on it. Dick Allen waiting at the on-deck circle for the Oakland A's. No score, first inning at Tiger Stadium. Alexander keeping an eye on Hiller, who goes to the set position at the mound. And delivers. Gross takes a half cut. That is ruled a ball. He checked on a changeup. Red Chandine, the first base coach. Cal Irmer, the third base coach for Oakland. The game has just started, no score. The 1-2 pitch. Gross swings, fly ball, hit foul and out of play. Back into the seats and right. Leading New York 1-0. Nettles hit a home run in that first inning. Cleveland, no score at the end of one. Here's the pitch, and it's low. It gets by May, and in to score will come Alexander. It's a wild pitch, charged to Hiller. Oh, a single, a stolen base, a fly ball, and a wild pitch getting a run in. Oakland leads 1-0. And the count on Gross, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind up by John, the pitch on the way, foul off, and well out of play. In that Boston Red Sox game, it's 1-1. Nettles home run in the second inning, and Rice hit one for Boston in the first. Patterson against Cleveland. They're batting in the second inning at Boston, the Red Sox are. There's a ball low. It's a full count on Wayne Gross. 1 out, 1 run in. Oakland leads the Tigers 1-0 in the very first inning. Hiller into motion, kicks and deals. Here's a strike called. A beautiful curve broke across, and he's out for looking. 2 down, and Allen will be the batter. Dick Allen, a big, strong right-hand batter. He's playing first base. Batting .255 with 30 runs batted in and 5 home runs. Stands deep and likes to move into the ball. There's a ball low to Dick, ball 1. Phillies ahead of Pittsburgh, 1-0 at the end of 2. No other National League games started yet. There's a ball in too close. 2-0, the count on Allen. That time Hiller fed him the fastball. Earl Williams waits at the on-deck circle. Strike called. Joe Freakman up with the right hand on that one. 2-1, the count on Allen. Tigers trying to pull out of their losing streak. They've lost 6 in a row. Foul out of play. That one back into the seats to the left of the screen.
Dick still got that big, heavy bat, Ernie.
And he's able to get it around. He's very strong. Tremendous power. 2-2 pitch coming up. He takes a strike, change up over, and he struck out. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and nobody left. At the end of a half inning, Oakland 1, Detroit coming to bat.
Record atop their division of 27-19.
Picholo's gone into play shortstop for Oakland. He replaces Alexander, who did his job. He got on, stole the base, went to third on a fly ball, and came home on a wild pitch. They give the A's a 1-0 advantage over the Tigers at the end of a half inning. And now Vida Blue, the veteran left-hander, getting ready to go to work against the Tigers. It'll be LaFleur, Fuentes, and Ogilvy, the first 3 batters to face him. Vida with a record of 3 wins and 5 defeats. Last year against the Tigers, won 1 and dropped 2. He has a career margin over Detroit. He's won 9 and lost 6 in his lifetime against the Tigers. Last year he won 18 games against the entire league. Young man from Mansfield, Louisiana, who startled the baseball world back in '71 with that great record. He won the Cy Young Award that year and ended up with 24 victories. He was 17-3 at All-Star time that season. Kicks and delivers to LaFleur, who starts the bunt and takes the fastball outside. Ball 1, the count on Ron. LaFleur batting .230. Ron has 3 home runs. He's driven in 16 runs this year. Fastball wide of the plate. 2-0, the count of the Tiger leadoff man. Outfield playing him to hit the ball to right. And Vida kicks and deals. Here's a ball low and outside. Ball 3, the count on LaFleur. Red Sox now lead the Yanks 3-1. They've completed 2 at Boston. Lined up in the pitch. LaFleur takes, strike called, outside corner fastball. Second meeting of the year between these 2 teams. Oakland won it last night. Here's the pitch. He swings, foul fly upstairs, out of play. 3-2 on LaFleur. Blue has 3 career shutouts against the Tigers. Now winds, 3-2 serve, swung on a bounding ball back to Vida. He grabs it, throw to first, got him. Blue to Allen, LaFleur retired. Tito Fuentes will bat next for Detroit. He's hitting .298 in 42 games. He'll be batting right-handed. Lost his last 3 decisions to Baltimore, Seattle, and to Cleveland. Now kicks and delivers, and Fuentes looks at the ball in too close. The fastball from Vida. Here's the motion and the pitch on the way. Swinging a bounding ball to short. Picholo has it, throw to first. He got him, and there are 2 down. Ogilvy will be the Tiger batter in the first inning. The score 1-0 favor of Oakland. Ben just got back in action last night. He's hitting .262 in 35 games. 6 home runs. He's driven home 15 runs. Well, the rain has missed Tiger Stadium so far, but it's been all around. It did rain here earlier in the afternoon. Oakland leads 1-0 in the first. Oakland 12 east. Swing and a high foul lifted out of play back toward the screen. 1-1, the count on Ogilvy. Well, the A's have compiled their best record against California. In the West, their worst record is against Seattle, 1-3. 4 against Baltimore. And the best they've done in the East is 2-3 against Boston, except for the 1-0 against the Tigers. Here's a ball in too close on Ben. 2-1. Now they're 2-0 against Toronto. That's right. Only 2 meetings they've had with the expansion team in the Eastern Division. Now Vida ready to pitch to Ben again. The 2-1 count. Here it is. He swings and fouls it away to the screen. Mostly fastball so far from Vida Blue. Vida broke in 68. He pitched first at all for Burlington. Came up to Oakland in part of 69 and then to stay in 71. Here's a pitch. It's low and in the dirt. Good pickup by the catcher Williams. The count on Ben. Wentz picking up a little bit. It's going across from the right field corner toward the left. Now Ben with a long throw again to Allen at first base. Still not having to slide. Williams down to give the sign to his left-hand pitcher, Vida Blue. Vida pitches. Ogleby goes. The pitch is in close. Williams throw to second. He is safe at second base. Williams had a little trouble extracting the ball. And it'll be a stolen base for Ogleby. That's the third this year for Ben. He's been caught 3 times. So he's on second, and it is a 3-2 count on Kemp with 2 down in the first inning, 1-0 Oakland. As a looping drive to center base hit, Oakley is rounding third, headed home. Thomas bobbles the ball to get behind it. He picks it up, but on to second goes Kemp. The throw is high, and backing up the throw as the third baseman throws. Kemp holds at second base. Game tied 1-1, and we'll wait for the scorer's decision. It'll be a single and a center fielder.
And an RBI for Steve Kemp.
So Kemp gets an RBI on the single sending Ogleby home, and then Kemp goes to second on the bobble by Armas, the center fielder. And the Tigers have tied the game at 1-1. Here's Mickey Stanley. Oh, the Tigers here for a run after the first 2 men had been retired. Stanley batting .237 with the right-hand bat of the face, Vida Blue. And the left-handed gave him a fastball right through the letters. Had a little smoke on that one. Strike 1 on Mickey. Outfield a little bit to right. Just about straight up, I'd say. The infield back. Kemp with not much of a lead at second base. Stanley takes the ball low. That was a fastball again, 1-1. Vida's had some good years and 2 outstanding years in which he bettered the 20 victory mark. Now sets, holds it at the belt, pitches. Bounding ball at the short. Cicero has it. Here's the throw to first to Allen. He's out. And the side retired, but the Tigers get one run on 2 hits. 1 error, 1 man left. And at the end of 1, Oakland 1, Detroit 1.
Interesting conversations with people you've been reading about. Your thoughts on any subject. America's favorite music. They're all part of the Warren Pierce Show. Join me evenings on WJR.
Well, 50 years ago today, Johnny Noon pulled his famous unassisted double play for the Tigers against the Cleveland Indians. Garland Buckeye was the pitcher in that ball game, and Garland's sister, Virginia, later married to Russ Dawson, the automobile dealer. Mr. Fred Smith, the super Tiger fan, saw that game. It was the first time he'd ever seen the Tigers win a game. Young man in knee pants at that time. Here's Earl Williams now to face John Hiller. 1-1 tie, second inning. And he takes the ball high. Ball 1. Now Earl's a right-hand batter.
I was going to say now Fred's an old man in knee pants.
Here's a strike call to 1-1. He'll appreciate it.
No.
Williams hitting .262. He picked up a run in the opening inning. There's a foul up this way, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Earl. Heller looking at the baseball. Williams steps away from the plate for a moment. Back in there to face John. The 1-2 delivery on the way. He swings and lifts a high foul back of the plate. May has room under it. Let's pause now briefly for station identification. This is a Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Nothing is as permanent as change, and Radio 76 helps you to understand with time-tested, reliable reporting. And from Lou Gehrig to Mark Fidrich, Radio 76 has been a part of all of that. It's sports information you've come to expect from WJR Detroit.
Rich McKinney, a 194 hitter, stepping in now. He's the right-hand batter against John Hiller. 1 out, 1-1 tie, second inning. And it's a strike call on the Oakland designated batter, Rich McKinney. Armas, the center fielder, waits at the on-deck circle. Line drive, it's a hit to left field. Over the corner goes Kemp. He fields the ball to his glove side and left hands it back into Tommy Verizon, the shortstop. It's a single for McKinney to bring to bat Tony Armas. A-R-M-A-S. He's hitting .239 in 35 games. In that triple play that Johnny Noon pulled, he was a first baseman. He caught a line drive hit by Homer Summer of Cleveland. Tagged out Charlie Jemison between first and second, and then cut second base before Glenn Myatt got back. And that feat was not duplicated for 41 years, and then Ron Hansen of Washington pulled a triple play unassisted in 68. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Armas, the batter. McKinney on first, 1 man down. The game tied 1-1. We're in the second inning in Detroit. Hiller's fastball is over, but it's low, 1-1. Each team with 1 run and 2 hits at this early stage. Perez waiting on deck for Oakland. Breaking ball stays outside for Hiller. 2-1 the count on him now. Armas digging in near the plate. Swings and rolls a foul right down in the dirt in front of the feet of the catcher Milt May. Montreal leading the match 2-0 at the end of 1. Joe Torre is the new Met manager. Joe Frazier was fired today, given a job as a scout. There's a pitch in too close. Hiller missed the inside corner, 3-2. Pittsburgh leading the Phillies in the 4th inning, 3-1. At the end of 1 at Cincinnati, Atlanta and the Reds, no score. Now waiting on a 3-2 delivery. McKinney goes, the ball swung on and missed. Here's May's throw, and they've got him dead to rights at second base. May, the catcher of the second baseman for Whitties. McKinney seemed to hesitate there, and he didn't make much of a move, and he was out by 1.5 miles at second base. It'll be a double play on the strikeout and the nip steal. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left at the end of 1.5 innings. Oakland 1, Detroit 1. Tiger family, and especially the scouting department, wants to send special Tiger birthday greetings to Mr. Pat Terry, former Tiger scout, celebrating his 90th birthday on this date. Also, Mrs. Agnes Monroe of London, Ontario, years, reaching the age of 98, and still rooting for the Tigers over there in London. Wackenfuss will lead it off for Detroit against the left-hander Vida Blue. 1-1 against John Wackenfuss. He's the designated batter here against the left-hander. Well, House getting some right-hand hitters in there tonight. And the pitch is low to John, ball one. Watkins hitting .265. This will be his 13th game. He's wrapped out 3 home runs and knocked in 7 runs with his new batting stance. Takes the ball outside, and the count on John is 2-0. He'll be followed by Milt May, and then it'll be Mankowski. Cut and a miss, 2-1. Outfield deep and a little bit to left on Watkins. The infield is back. Each team with 1 run and 2 hits. Blue kicks and deals. John swings at a bounding ball to Chubb at the third. Off the body of Gross, picked up by Piccolo. He throws to first in time. Good play by the shortstop, Piccolo. After the ball hit Gross and bounded over the shortstop, young Piccolo picked it up and made the play to Allen. It'll be scored the third baseman of the shortstop to the first baseman. Milt May will be the batter. May hitting .278. Milt hit 3 home runs and 14 RBI. Left-hander against the left-hander. Here's a strike called. He curved him. Later report from Boston. The Red Sox still lead the Yankees. It's Boston 3, New York 1 at the end of 4. Slow roll to hit toward third. What a crazy hop that took. Picked up by Gross. Throw to first. He got him. It might go foul. It had a lot of English on it as it skidded off the bat and stayed fair about a foot. First, and here's Mankowski, who is hitting .307. Curve, it's high. Ball 1 on Phil. Has died down somewhat. Foul upstairs. It'll be. And it is beginning to rain at Tiger Stadium. 1-1 for the pitch. He takes the ball in high. 2-1 the count on Mankowski. Checking his sign with his catcher, Williams. In motion. Hiller ready to work on. He gives him a curve and above the knees for a strike.
She doesn't live there anymore, though.
Oh, come on. Here it comes. He swings and misses on a changeup. Strike 2. One tie, third inning, 1 out, none on for Oakland. Oh, got him on a changeup wide of the plate, and he struck out. That'll be the 4th strikeout recorded by Hiller. Piccolo will be the batter now, the young shortstop up for his first time. Batting 170. 17 hits and 100 trips. Here's a strike called on Bob or Ralph Piccolo. A ball that might drop in. It's in short center. LaFleur can't get there. Plays it on 1 to Skip. Out of a dying seagull that dropped in behind the infield. Puts Piccolo on with a 2-out single in the third. The game tied 1-1. And Manny Sanguillen, who is the right fielder in the game tonight, will be the batter. Third hit off Hiller. All 3 have been singles. Still raining at the ballpark. It's getting to be a harder rain now. And I see some of the folks headed to shelter who was waiting it out there for a while. 1-1 tie, third inning. Hiller to the set position. Piccolo with the lead at first base. Line drive to right by Sanguillen, fielded by Ogilvy. He bobbles the ball. Now Piccolo headed for third. Here's Ben's throw. It will not be in time. He's in safely. Piccolo had stopped at second, and then when Ogilvy bobbled the ball in right field, he headed on, so it will be an error charge to Ogilvy. Putting runners at first and third with 2 down, the batter will be Gross, the left-hander batting third baseman. Hiller struck him out the first time they met tonight. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Now each team now has been charged with an error. Both those errors in the outfield. Hiller trying to get out of trouble. 1-1 tie. 2 men on, 2 men out. A ball low. Good stop by May. It was a wild pitch by Hiller in the first inning that sent the only Oakland run home. Sanguillen getting a pretty good lead at first base, and Hiller steps out the slab. Mankowski backing up and going wide of the bag at third. Here's the pitch, goes strike, call, fastball above the knees. Now that one had Wayne talking to himself. And the rain's getting a little more serious here now at Tiger Stadium. Set and the pitch. He swings at a foul ball hit on the ground down past first base. Hiller didn't like that ball. He wants another one. Joe Brinkman obliges. Man at first, man at third, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Gross waiting. Here it comes. He swings and misses. Second out again, and Hiller's got that strikeout pitch working. That's 5 of them for John. No runs to it, 1 error, 2 left. We go the last half of third. Oakland 1, Detroit 1. The ground crew has been conferring with the senior umpire, Nestor Shylock, about whether to bring the tarp out or not. They're trying to make up their minds right now. When you're fooling with the weather, it's hard to make up your minds about anything because nobody knows. It is still raining here. Now Joe Brinkman is out talking to Vita Blue. What they're going to do is they're going to compromise and bring in a little of that absorbent material that they put around the mound and home plate. So time will be called as that activity ensues. Vita stepping aside, and the ground crew will use that special sand now that is absorbent, raking it into the regular dirt of the pitcher's mound, and they may do the same at home plate, or they may not. Anyway, Vita seems satisfied. But it is still raining at Tiger Stadium. Tommy Verizza will be leading up for the Tigers against Vita Blue. Tommy batting 161. Old Mark Wagner has been sent back, option to Evansville. Wagner batted 146 in 22 games. Verizza hitting 161 now in 30. And Aurelio Rodriguez has been put on the active list. Well, Vita's about ready to go to work against Tommy Verizza. Game tied 1-1 last half of third. Left-hander Blue kicks and deals. Here's a cut and a miss by Tom on a breaking pitch. Mostly, Vita's used his bread and butter pitch here early, the fastball. Just the curveball enough to set it up. There's a changeup that comes in high. 1-1 to count on Verizza. Montreal leads the Mets third inning in New York 2-0. Swing and a foul out of play behind the plate 1-2. Atlanta, Cincinnati, no score there in the third. Phillies lead to Pittsburgh 4-3 there in the 5th inning. The other game's not underway in the National. Now Blue checks out his sign with his catcher Williams. And Verizza's still waiting. Here it comes. He takes the ball low. That one got by Williams. It hit Joe Brinkman on the foot. Umpires wear enforced shoes, reinforced with steel plates. But still it hurts, and they can't protect every inch of the foot. Pittman leaning on Williams for a moment. Now he says he's ready for everybody to begin again. It's a 2-2 count on Tommy. The pitch. Swung on. Fly ball at the short right field. Sanguillen waiting under it now and looking up in the raindrops and makes the catch.
Ernie, they've held up that game over in Cleveland now for some time. They got it underway. California got a run in the second inning after an inning and a half. That's the last word we had. They suspended play over there because of rain. So they're getting it too.
And Baltimore, Minnesota have started now. No score on that one at the end of one at Minnesota. Here's Ron LaFleur, who bounced back to bite at the first trip. And he takes a fastball under the chin. Gross is in close in case Ron wants to try to bunt his way on here. We've got a 1-1 deadlock in Detroit. Fastball misses the mark. It's 2-0 on LaFleur. Now the windup for the left end of the pitch is a ball outside. Now it looks as if the bottom would drop out any moment here, even before this game started, and they're now in the third inning. Playing in the rain. Here's a walk to LaFleur. Fastball outside. One man on, one man out. And Tito Puente stepping in this tie game 1-1. That's the first walk issued by a Blue. He's walked one and struck out one. Tito batting right-handed. Gives that bat his characteristic little flip as he gets ready to face by the Blue. He wants Nestor Shalak, the second base umpire, to move over to the right field side a little bit more. Now Vita ready and delivers to first base. LaFleur back in time. LaFleur has 8 steals this year. He's been cut down 3 times attempting to steal. There he goes. The pitch is a strike. Throw by Williams to second. LaFleur is safe. Number 9 for him. Got a pretty good jump, and Williams' throw not there in time to the second baseman Perez. Strike one, the count on Fuentes. Picholo starting to duck behind LaFleur. Not trying to bluff him back a little bit. Here's the pitch. It is outside for a ball, 1-1, low and away. Well, in Boston, they've gone to the 6th inning there. The Red Sox still lead the Yankees 3-1. Rainy night in Detroit. 1-1 tie. There's a little thunder in the background. And a 1-1 pitch coming up to Fuentes. He swings a line drive. It's Picholo at short. He gloves it. LaFleur gets back to second base safely. Ball it sharply directed the glove of the shortstop. Oakleby will be the Tiger batter. He singled and eventually scored the only Tiger run. That was in the first inning.
Line drives, ground balls right at the opposition. That's what's been happening to the Tigers.
And that's what is always happening when you're not winning. Slumping team faces situations like that time and again. Well, there's Oakley with a chance to deliver the tie-breaking run. 2 out on LaFleur at second base in the third. Then takes a ball low from Vita Blue. Fastball low and in close. A little roll of thunder over there back of left field. Still raining at the ballpark. Ball 1 the count on Ben. Standing deep. Now he takes a stride and does not swing. It got over. Strike 1, 1-1. Another changeup delivered by the left-hander Vita Blue. Now Ben waits on Vita's next pitch. Here it is. He swings and misses. 1-2 the count on him. A's have 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. The Tigers have 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. Tomorrow night, Cleveland comes to town. The Bird is in action again. Come on out and be with us. Box and reserve seats are available. Mark the Bird Fidrich for his second appearance. Now the step by Vida Blue. The pitch, Ogilvy takes the ball wide of the plate. Bibby will be the Cleveland pitcher tomorrow night, and then on Thursday the Tigers close out this homestand. Dave Rosemer against the old Tiger Pat Dobson. Here's Oakley waiting on a 2-2 delivery, and he fouls it away upstairs. Gentleman from Windsor will take that one home with him. Waits on another 2-2 delivery from Vida Blue. It's in too close, full count on him. Game tied 1-1, 2 out, 3-2 pitch to Ogilvy with LaFord second base in the third inning. Here it comes. He swings and fouls it on the screen. And the rain continues here at Tiger Stadium. Atlanta's gone ahead of Cincinnati at Cincinnati 1-0, that game in the fourth inning. Vida goes to the set position on the mound and delivers. The ball is swung on and missed. He struck him out and the inning is over. No runs on no hits. The Tigers had a walk, no errors, had one man left on base. And at the end of 3, Oakland 1, Detroit 1.
Here in extra innings and you're at bat in the Labatt's baseball trivia game. Here's the pitch. Which batter holds the record for hitting safely in 17 successive World Series games, but has a lifetime average of only 245? Take a little time to think about it, and while you're at it, why not have a cool, refreshing Labatt's beer? The answer, Hank Bauer of the Yankees. Beer and baseball really go together. Always have, always will. Great baseball calls for great beer. Labatt's. Call for Labatt's. Brewed in Canada since 1828. Distributed by Labatt Importers Incorporated, Buffalo, New York.
Labatt's Blue is available in selected markets throughout Michigan.
If your work or daily routine keep you up during the wee hours, we have something in common. I'm Jay Roberts, inviting you to join me on Night Flight 76 at 11:30 on WJR.
Game tied, 1-1, fourth inning. Let's tune in on Paul Carey.
Thank you, Ernie. Dick Allen at the plate to lead off against John Hiller. The first pitch is taken a little bit low for ball 1. The man who wears his hometown and his high school graduation year on his uniform. Wampum number 60. The swing and a foul to the left of Milt May. 1-1 now on Dick Allen. Allen signed as a free agent this spring by the A's. For the last couple of years with the Philadelphia Phillies. Checks it's up high around the shoulders. 2-1 now on Allen. Fuller has allowed 4 hits. They've all been singles. A windup by John. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled away. This one off plate umpire Joe Brinkman. He walks away to shake that off. Playing in the rain. It has been coming down now for the last couple of innings. It's hard to tell just what kind of cloud formations we've got overhead now because it's dark. There's a foul into the upper deck. Got darker a little prematurely this evening because of the clouds, however. Allen, Williams, McKinney, the first 3 scheduled batters here in the fourth against Hiller. The windup, John delivers. Ball high, full count now on Dick Allen. right-hand batter. Swings and pops another foul in the upper deck. The rain continues to come down. The field is still in excellent playing condition, however. Getting a little gummy on the mound and on the base path. There's a fly ball lifted to short right field. Ogleby with a late start. Fuentes going out. Fuentes reaches, makes the catch, and then whips the glove out of the way of Ogleby. They almost collided out in right field. Ogleby did not start on that ball, and it was Fuentes or nobody. There's one down in the fourth inning. Good play by Tito. Tough way to catch him. Kind of over the shoulder and running away from the ball. Now time has been called. We've got play suspended. The big clock, let's see, our clock shows that it's about 9 o'clock and a few seconds. Although the clock up over the scoreboard is a little bit slow. It says 8:59 up there. We have had play suspended here at Tiger Stadium because of the rain, and the tarp now is being brought out, the separate pieces to cover the plate and the mound. Earl Williams scheduled to be the batter with one down, nobody on. Here in the top of the fourth inning, the game tied. Oakland won, the Tigers won. And it seemed inevitable that we would get a delay tonight because of all of the rain in the area and the forecast of same. Well, the grounds crew now unrolling the top off a big aluminum roller. And they'll get it covering the diamond here pretty soon. The field is getting increasingly soaked because of the steady rain that has come down. It was hoped that it would be just a shower and move through. They had a shower here, a strong one, late this afternoon that left portions of the stadium quite wet. But it moved out and the sun broke through a little bit. There was no batting practice, however, before the game, and very little infield work at all. Let's pause right now for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
J.P. McCarthy, Jimmy Lance, Mark Avery, all vibrant and recognized friends. It's companionship that you've come to expect from America's great radio station, WJR, Detroit.
Well, they've unrolled the tarp and got it across the field in a hurry. So the diamond itself is now completely covered and protected from the elements. And the rain comes down very steadily here at Tiger Stadium. It was a good move to make at that time because it would have been very tough to play right now the way the rain is coming down over Tiger Stadium. 1-1 tie in the top of the fourth inning, one out, and nobody on board with the game suspended, held up by rain. As I'd mentioned before, over in Cleveland, they got that game underway, played an inning and a half, and apparently in the bottom of the second inning with Cleveland batting and trailing the Angels 1-0. They called time. No-hitter apparently for Wayne Garland over there tonight, who is starting for the Indians. I'd like to alert our stations on the network line that we'll probably, in a very short period of time, be sending things back to you for your regional, local news, and whatever you prefer to do in the interim. Keep your listeners notified of what's occurring in your various areas. Do a quick check of the scoreboard, though, before while you're scuttling around and getting some records ready. In the National League, they've got 6 single-night games tonight. 4 of them are underway now. At Philadelphia, the Pirates playing the Phillies. The Pirates got 3 runs in the third. The Phillies got 3 in the fourth. And now, after 4 innings of play, it's Philadelphia 4 and Pittsburgh 3. Lurch started for Philadelphia. Demery started for Pittsburgh. Foster coming on in relief in the fourth inning. At Cincinnati, after 3 innings of play, it's Atlanta 1 and the Reds nothing. Necro pitching for Atlanta against Nolan of the Reds. At Shea Stadium in New York, Montreal playing the Mets. The Mets now under Joe Torre, as just a couple of hours before the ball game tonight, manager Joe Frazier was fired by the board chairman, Donald Grant. Joe Torre, who had been a playing coach with the Mets, elevated to the managerial post. Torre given a contract to finish out the rest of this season and for the next 2 years. And Torre, for the time being at least, will remain on the playing roster. So with Frank Robinson removing himself as a playing manager at Cleveland and just being a manager, Torre now is the only playing manager in the majors. And Frazier, who was fired as the manager, will remain in the Mets organization as a scout. Now, in that game, at the end of 3 innings of play, it's Montreal 2 and the Mets 2. Alcala pitching for Montreal. Swan going for New York. And in the other game underway in the National League, at St. Louis, Chicago did not score in its first inning. It's Bonham going for the Cubs against Denny of the Cardinals. Rounding out the National League schedule, down at Houston, the Dodgers playing the Astros, and at San Francisco, the Giants will play host to San Diego. Only 3 other games scheduled in the American League on this date, in addition to the Tigers and A's game. At Boston, they've completed 5 innings now. It's the Red Sox 3 and the Yankees 1. Patterson on the mound for New York, and Cleveland going for Boston. Home runs accounting for all the scoring in that game. Rice over to the first, nobody aboard for Boston, his 11th of the year. Then the Yankees tied it in the second on Greg Nettles' 11th home run, made it 1-1. Boston broke the tie in their half of the second inning. Butch Hobson hitting a 2-run homer, his 7th of the year, to give Boston a 3-1 lead, and that's the score after 5 innings of play at Fenway. Over in Cleveland, as noted before, after an inning and a half, California won, Cleveland nothing, the game being held up by rain in Cleveland. Hartzell going for California against Garland of the Indians. And at Minnesota, they've completed 1 inning, no score. Baltimore and the Twins. Rudy May pitching for Baltimore, beat Redfern on the mound for Minnesota. That's a look at the scoreboard to the moment. We've got rain falling quite heavily here at Tiger Stadium. The game suspended about 6 minutes ago, and we're going to sit and find out what's going to happen, because right at the point where we had the game suspended, it still is not a complete ball game by any means. For one thing, the game is tied. For another, we have not completed 5 innings. And with 1 out, nobody on the top of the 4th inning, the A's batting against John Hiller, time called, and that's where we stand now at Tiger Stadium. So while it continues to rain here at Tiger Stadium, Ernie and I'll keep our stuff out of the way of the moisture, and we'll turn things over to our stations for the time being and keep you informed as to the conditions here at the stadium. Again from Tiger Stadium, along with Ernie Harwell, this is Paul Cherry. We've had a rain delay here at Tiger Stadium, not officially determined as yet, but in the area of about 40 minutes, the rain has ceased, and right now, at least, nothing coming down from the heavens. The Tigers back out in the infield and outfield. John Hiller loosening up, ready to take over. The game had been suspended because of a steady rain about a minute before 9 o'clock. With 1 out, nobody on base in the top of the 4th inning. The game tied, Detroit 1 and Oakland 1. Dick Allen had been retired on a pop-out to second base. Earl Williams was about ready to take his turn at bat when it was decided the rain was getting a little too heavy, and the tarp was brought out to cover the field. And it was a wise move because it became a very heavy, steady rain for about 15 minutes straight, and then lightened up a little bit and eventually waned to a sprinkle, and now nothing at all coming down. It could be one of those nights where we could get another one coming in. They've had a little bit of a squall line come through in the afternoon, and then we had some rain fall very near the stadium as the game got underway, but it didn't really start coming down here at the ballpark until in the second inning. And then in the top of the 4th inning, it just became a little too heavy to resist any longer. John Hiller doing some cleaning of his spikes out on the mound because and had some problem with the clay. The gumming of the spikes now will take place, and we'll get some of that special absorbent sand out there that Ernie had referred to earlier. They had to use some for Vita Blue in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And so far, they've not put any more back on the mound. Hiller has not asked that any be placed out there. So we're about ready to get underway. To recap, Oakland got a run in the very first inning on the basis of just 1 hit. Matt Alexander, the scat man who leads off and then goes to the dugout, does not take the field defensively, led off with a single in left field, a line drive off John Hiller. He stole second, his 11th steal of the year, took third on a fly ball to right field, and then scored on a wild pitch by Hiller. And that's been Oakland's scoring of the ball game. Hiller gave up a single in the second inning. Rich McKinney erased by a double play, however. And then after 2 were out, Rob Piccolo and Manny Sanguillen each single. Piccolo's a bloop single to center, but a strikeout of Gross got Hiller out of trouble in that inning. Tigers got a run in the first inning with 2 outs. Oakley singled, stole second, and scored on a single by Steve Kent. The Tigers with only those 2 hits by Oakley and Kent so far off Vita Blue. Ready to go now here in the top of the 4th inning. We're back underway. We'll get the announcement of the rain delay time and pass it along to you in just a moment. Hiller looking in, getting the sign from Mills May. One out, nobody on. Earl Williams, right-hand batter at the plate. He bunts out to the mound under the glove of Hiller, and he's mad at himself. He can't get it. The ball dies in the infield. It'll be a base hit for Earl Williams. It would have been handled, or he could have been an easy put out at first base because the bunt was placed a little bit too firmly. But Hiller missed it with his glove. It went underneath his glove. It'll be a base hit for Earl Williams. Not a bad play with a wet turf out here, and taking advantage of the layoff by Hiller. He might not have been looking for that. So Williams on with a bunt single. The slugging catcher going for the short hit that time. Here's Rich McKinney. The pitch to him. Swung out, line foul into the lower deck down the left field side over the top roll. Now we'll see how John reacts to the delay. It's been now labeled a 42-minute rain delay here in the fourth inning. The set, the pitch to the plate. Swung on, ripped into the glove of Mankowski near the bag at third. He goes to second for one. The relay to first. Double play. What a play by Mankowski. That was almost down the line. He backhanded it, stabbed it, and got a double play out of it. Well, the A's are retired in the fourth inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Well, after 3.5 innings of play, it's Oakland 1, Detroit 1.
The beauty. To even the casual observer, it has always been evident. In the classic sculpture of the grill, the choice of luxurious interior materials like soft and cream, the overall purity of the design. Of course, there has always been another beauty, evident not so much in what you see, but in what you feel. When you take the wheel and experience the assuring responsiveness of Cordova's handling that carries one with precision and agility through curve and corner. Yet the ride is so very smooth, remarkable. But then it is a remarkable automobile. By Chrysler.
See your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Tigers are going to get a chance to bat against by the blue again as we resume play here at Tiger Stadium. That was quite a play by Phil Mankowski at third base. I hesitated in the call of the play simply because it was such a hard ground ball, and I had a feeling it was going down the line for extra bases in left field. But at the last second, the ball almost by him, Mankowski reached across the body, stabbed it, and then wound up getting a double play out of it. Here come the Tigers against Vida in the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Steve Kemp to lead it off. Kemp has driven in the Tiger run here this evening, a single in the first inning. One of the two Tiger hits. The A's now with a total of 5 off John Hiller. 1-1 tie, bottom of the fourth inning. They wind up the pitch to Kemp. It's flowing inside, ball 1. May not be quite the flamethrower that he once was, but he still throws a blur up to the plate. The pitch to Kemp. There's a drive toward right center field. On the run is Sanguillen. It's up the alley. On one hop, off the wall. Gets past the glove of Armas. Kemp digs for second. Will hold at second with a two-base hit. That's the kind of hitting we were seeing on the road from Steve Kemp. Getting that same kind of hitting from the Tim Corcorans and Bill Mankowski. And from Tito Fuentes. But it has not been present through much of this homestand. Here's Mickey Stanley. Mickey up once in the ball game. Bounced out to short. Kemp leading at second. Game tied 1-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nobody out. The set by Vada Blue. The pitch to Stanley. There's a line drive to right field, a base hit. Kemp held a little bit near the bag. He'll be held at third base. The throw comes in, cut off by Allen in the middle of the diamond. Not a good throw from Sam Guillen, who is not the world's greatest outfielder. In fact, Manny's got a little trouble out there. He's looking in the grass. He slipped as he released that ball toward the plate. Oh, Stanley singles to right field. Runners at first and third, nobody out. On a line drive, with nobody out, Kemp is going to be playing it a little bit cautiously. So he held fairly near the bag at second. Did not get a jump on the hit by Stanley. And there was no place for him to go except the third base, but no further. Here's John Walkenfuss. High stretch by Vada Blue. The pitch to the plate. Fastball is outside. Ball one. Walkenfuss ripped a hard ground ball off the glove of Gross at third that ricocheted to Piccolo at short, and Johnny B was thrown out by an eyelash at first base. That came in the second inning. Now the set by Vida. He delivers. Swung on it. Popped up near first base. Backing up behind the bag is second baseman Perez down the line. Makes the catch. And Kemp Bluffs coming in from third, holds on. Well, that's a big out for Oakland. And for Vida Blue, one down with Stanley at first and Kemp at third. And it brings up the left-hand hitting Milt May. Milt grounded out to third, his first time at the plate. Might be a little sluggish in the outfield right now after all the rain we had here at the stadium this evening. Grass of the infield was covered, and they've been paring that grass down with each day. Very high when the homestand began. Here's the pitch to Milt May. Strike called on Milt. Kemp at third, Stanley at first, one out. Fourth inning. Tigers and A's tied 1-1. Now, Blue getting the sign from his catcher Williams. Looks at first and at third. Holds at the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on a ground ball to short. They may get two. They relay from second to first. It's a double play. That's all for the Tigers in the fourth inning. They get the first two on, cannot score. Each club pulling off a double play in the fourth inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 Tiger left on base. After 4 innings of play, it's still the Tigers 1, the A's 1.
Here's a WJR news update. A tornado touchdown near the southeast Michigan town of Dundee this afternoon. Property damage was reported, limited to 2 barns. No one was reported hurt. The Michigan Senate has approved legislation raising the state's drinking age to 19. The bill now goes to the State House. A state Senate committee today approved a bill designed to remove all but the smallest traces of PBB from Michigan-produced milk and meat. Former Detroit Mayor Jerome Kavanaugh is reported in good condition at St. Joseph's Hospital in Ann Arbor, where he is recuperating from open heart surgery. Striking Detroit school bus drivers voted today to return to work in the morning. Some 300 drivers walked off the job last Wednesday to protest lack of progress in reaching a new contract. An environmentalist says there are hidden costs in nuclear power that will raise future prices for energy consumers. A special panel of experts says the Food and Drug Administration should remove its lid of secrecy and let the public see how it decides the fate of new drugs. The Detroit temperature, 70 degrees. I'm Gene Fogel.
This is J.P. McCarthy. Look, as long as we're both up at that ridiculous hour, we might as well spend the time together. Here on WJR from 6 to 10 on Radio 76.
Tigers failed to take advantage of a golden scoring opportunity in the fourth inning after Kemp led off with a double and Mickey Stanley singled him to third. The pop out by Walkenfuss and the double play ground ball hit by Milt May checked any possibility of a threat. It's the fifth inning now. John Hiller set to face the A's. Tony Thomas will lead it off. He struck out as they front end of a double play in the second inning. Right-hand batter, the pitch from John. Swung on and missed. Hiller has struck out 5 and not walked a man. Coming back after the 42-minute delay. John getting the sign from May now into the motion, the pitch. He foul tips that one into the dirt underneath the legs of Milt May. 2 strikes on Armas. Well, they've resumed in Cleveland, too. They had quite a longer, I believe, quite a bit longer rain delay over there. But have now completed the second inning. California leading the Indians 1-0. They've held it up at the bottom of the second. The pitch from Hiller. Armas fouls to the screen. Compliments 2 strikes. Tony Armas. Armas had 21 home runs last season at Charleston in the International League. Pitch to him. He takes a called strike 3. Looks at that one. Is not very happy and tries to bounce the bat off the plate. That's strikeout number 6 for John. 1 out, nobody on. The batter will be Marty Perez. Marty's been the regular second baseman at Atlanta the last 3 or 4 years. There's a called strike on Marty. Originally came up in the American League in the Angels organization. Up briefly with California in 69 and 70. A ball high to Perez. 1 out, nobody on. The 1-1 pitch to Perez. Strike 2 called. There's a ball high. Here's ahead of Perez. Nettles homering for New York in that game. Rice and Hobson hit him for Boston. Boston the winner 5-1. Strike called. He struck out Perez. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hiller here in the 5th inning. In that Boston victory, Reggie Cleveland got the win. Patterson is the loser. Here's Jim Tyrone, who struck out against Hiller in the 3rd inning. Two outs, nobody on, top of the 5th. The pitch from John. Swung on and missed. He tried to check, but he'd gone around. Now Hiller winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. Well, the crowd roaring with John here in the 5th inning. He has struck out 7 already in this game. Failed to get a strikeout in the 4th inning. That one bounced up to the mid of May. Bad release by Hiller. 1-2, the count on Tyrone. He had a home run last night in the game. Now Hiller ready, the 1-2 pitch. That one bounced off the plate. Tyrone a little anxious, though. He was leaning over the plate. Almost ready to go after it. 2-2 on Tyrone. Here's the pitch to him. He struck him out swinging. So Hiller strikes out the side in the top of the 5th inning. The Tigers come to bat in their half. The score, Detroit 1, Oakland 1. Game here tonight between the A's and the Tigers is the Lapeer East High School JV baseball team enjoying the game in the rain delay. Lapeer East High School, just east of Flint, Michigan, north of Metamora. 1 run, 5 hits for the A's, 1 run, 4 hits for the Tigers. A 1-1 tie. In the bottom of the fifth, Bill Mankowski to lead it off against Vida Blue. Well, among the fans on hand for the ball game here tonight between the A's and the Tigers is the Lapeer East High School JV baseball team. Enjoying the game in the rain delay. Lapeer East High School, just east of Flint, Michigan, north of Metamora. 1 run, 5 hits for the A's, 1 run, 4 hits for the Tigers. A 1-1 tie. In the bottom of the fifth, Bill Mankowski to lead it off against Vida Blue. Bill struck out his first time up against Vida. Left-hander against the left-hander, the pitch. He swings and misses. They swing to the right on Mankowski. Here's the pitch to him. Over his head, ball 1, strike 1. Now Vida ready, delivers. Foul pop-up behind third. It'll be back in the seat, though, into the upper deck in time. It'll be bird night here at the ballpark tomorrow night. Mark Fidridge, who lost his first start last Friday by a narrow 2-1 margin, will be coming back to face Cleveland and Jim Bibby tomorrow night. Now the pitch to Mankowski is high. Fastball 2-2 on Phil. He'll be followed by Verizon and LaFleur here in the Tiger fifth inning. Blue ready, delivers. A pop-up foul. This will be back into the seats behind first base into the upper deck. Now Blue ready, the 2-2 pitch to Mankowski. Another pop foul back on the screen. Williams with a mask off, but he just watches it bounce off. Oops, they're getting cheers not cheers, for John the usher down below. Bobbled that one, but it took a bad hop on John. I got to tell you that. The pitch. Mankowski bends away from a fastball. It's a 3-2 count on Phil. Tigers had 2 hits in the first inning, 2 in the fourth. Now Mankowski feels Blue has taken too long a time. He backs out. Knocks some of the mud out of the spike. Vida is ready. Here's the 3-2 pitch. There's a fly ball. Lifted to right field. It's fairly deep. Sanguian goes back, turns around, makes the catch on the warning track. Right in front of the wall at right field. And a good sound to it, but it didn't carry all that far. 1 out in the fifth inning. The batter will be Tom Verizon. Well, Tommy flied to right his one time up against Vida. The Blue had a one-hitter against the Tigers last year, you may recall. Stanley destroyed his bid for a no-hitter with a home run in the 9th inning with 1 out. Go break it up, you might as well do it all the way. The pitch to Tommy, he takes high for ball 1. Kind of an oddity in that Vida Blue last year at least pitched better on the road than he did at home in Oakland. The pitch from Vida. Swung on in there. 1-1 on Verizon. 1 out, nobody on. A 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Pitch to Verizon is a wild one. Past the glove of Williams all the way to the screen. The old Ryan turn, shake him up. Two balls and a strike on Tommy. The pitch from Blue. Swung on it. That's strike 2. Not very happy with the A's. May not be around after this year. The pitch from Vida is a slow one. Popped up foul behind first. There's room for Allen. He's near the field seats. Makes the catch. Vida changed up on Tommy that time, and Tommy just got a piece of it, popping fouls with Nick Allen. So they're 2 down. That'll bring Ron LaFleur to the plate. Ron bounced out the blue in the first inning and then walked in the third, stole second, and died at second. Let's pause for station identification. Now let's hold off. Hold off here. We're going to get a pitch from Vida. A little bit late in calling for it. Here's the pitch to LaFleur. He cuts and misses. 2 out, bases empty here in the 5th inning. Bruce shakes off one side. Williams on the motion. The pitch to Ron. He swings and fouls one upstairs. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Jimmy Lance provides mid-morning merriment and involvement, and Mark Avery is a vibrant and recognized friend. Afternoons 3 to 6. It's companionship that you've come to expect from WJR Detroit.
LaFleur swings, lifts the fly ball toward right center field. Sanguillen on the run, makes the catch. A beautiful backhand stab, almost tumbling out there in right center field. Well, they say he can't catch him. Belies that fact. A fine running catch by Sanguillen on the fly ball to right center by LaFleur. For the Tigers, they go down 1, 2, 3, and after 5 innings, it's Detroit 1, Oakland 1.
We got together to do it better, and that's what we did.
When the Marathon Oil Company was put together, it was put together right. Because the whole idea behind Marathon was to do the job better. So Marathon get the best oil people, and the best pipeline people, and the best refining people, and the best service station people, and put them all together to do it better.
We got together to do it better. That's what we did.
Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better. We did.
This game is being brought to you by Labatt, brewed in Canada since 1828. By the Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealers. See all their 77 models. By the Marathon Oil Company, people who got together to do it better. By the Champion Spark Plug Company, the fresher your plugs, the better your mileage. By City National Bank, the bank that really wants your business. By Sears, where America shops, and by the Detroit News, who reminds you to check the news every day for the Lucky Buck serial number that could be worth $100. Now, more Tiger baseball action with Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey.
Now on Rob Piccolo leading it off. The pitch from Hiller. It's bunted to the left of the plate. Good bunt. Hiller field throws. He got him. A fine play by Hiller. Piccolo is up. And it was a beautiful bunt. Not very far from the plate. Hiller had to come a long way to get it. So there's 1 out in the Oakland 6th inning. No grooming of the infield because of the rain and the gummy surface out there this evening. So that's why we couldn't get on those long commercials after the 5th inning tonight. 1 out in the A's 6th inning. And the batter will be Manny Sanguillen, who is flied to right and singled. Manny with a brilliant running catch on a sinking fly ball by Ron LaFleur in the 5th inning for the final out. The happy Panamanian, the Manny Sanguillen. He was almost ready then to box out of the batter's box. 1-1. The game tied here in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch to Sanguillen. He cuts and misses. Mark Goodrich against Jim Bibby tomorrow night. Tickets available for another Bird Night at the stadium tomorrow. Dave Rosmer goes against Pat Dodson in the other game in the Cleveland Series. To nothing. Here's Wayne Gross, who has struck out twice against Hiller tonight. The pitch from John. Going away, ball 1. Good pitch, but Gross didn't go after it. First 2 positions in the batting order have collected 4 of the 6 Oakland hits. Sanguillen at first, 1 down. way outside. 2-0 on Gross. Hayes drafted Gross in June of 1973, 3 years ago, after an outstanding athletic career at Riverside, California. A 2-0 pitch from Hiller. A little high. 3-0. Hiller changed up that time. It was old reliable, and it didn't find the mark. Sam Guillen at first base. Big wagging across the third base coach, Cal Erner. The pitch to the plate. Strike called. 3-1 on Gross. The game tied 1-1 here in the top of the sixth inning. Set by Hiller. The pitch to Gross. He swings and bounces one to Fuentes. He goes to second for one. The Risers relay. Double play. That's off in the A's in the sixth inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left on base after 5.5 innings. It's the Tigers won, the A's won.
And now the Detroit News asks you to do one thing. Check your ones. Get out your wallet first and scrutinize the serial numbers on your $1 bill. Because right now, one of those $1 bills could be worth 100 times as much or more in the new Detroit News cash game, Lucky Ones. Here's how it works. Every day, the News is publishing one serial number. If one of those numbers is on one of your dollar bills, you're $100 richer. It's that simple. Plus, one of the 8 serial numbers in the Sunday News will be worth $250. Best of all, the Lucky Ones serial numbers remain lucky until someone claims them. So if you don't have, say, Tuesday's lucky serial number on Tuesday, maybe it'll turn up in your wallet next Wednesday or Thursday or next week. And the News will keep on publishing all unclaimed Lucky Ones serial numbers, along with a new one every day. So if you want to turn $1 into 100 or more, do the one thing you should do every day. Check the Detroit News.
Tigers pulling off their third double play of the ball game to get Hiller out of any difficulty in the top of the sixth inning. It's a 1-1 tie. The official attendance figure now relayed to us from Bill Brown up in the press box. 7,067. An off night at the turnstiles tonight. On a rainy night in Detroit. No rain now, though, after a 42-minute rain delay in the fourth inning. Tigers come to bat here in the bottom of the sixth, sending up Tito Fuentes, batting right-handed against the left-hander Blue. To lead it off, Tito is 0 for 2. Last time up, he hit a sharp line drive that was hooking, but Bob Piccolo was able to grab it at shortstop. That came with LaFleur at second base in scoring position. 1-1 as we begin the sixth inning. The pitch to Tito. He takes a fastball over, but low. Blue has struck out 2 and walked 1. He winds and delivers to Fuentes. Ball 2, it's outside. Not much wind at all here at the stadium now. Earlier this evening it was blowing out toward left field. There's a called strike on Fuentes. After the going, Earl Williams, the catcher for Vida Blue, has not made many trips off the mound. He certainly did last night. Doc Ellis working. Leads the league, I think, in mound conferences. The pitch. Change up, fly ball to left field. Can be caught. Tyrone moves to his right, comes in a few steps. One is swinging on a changeup, did not get all that much wood on the ball, and there's one out in the Tigers' sixth inning with Ben Ogley. Benji singled in the first inning and scored the Tiger run on the single by Steve Kemp. Got its run also in the first inning when Matt Alexander singled, stole second, took third on the fly ball, and came home on a wild pitch by Hiller. Since then, Hiller has flanked the A's. Get to the fifth when he struck out the side. Tigers got 2 hits in that first inning for their run, and 2 hits in the fourth with nobody out but could not score. The pitch to Ogley, swung on and missed. Benji back in action defensively. First time since his shoulder injury. The pitch to Ogilvy. He checks, and it is a foul tip into the mid. Williams for a strike. Ogilvy had checked his swing, but barely caught the handle. Swing and a foul to the screen, protecting the plate that time. Oh, the Indians have moved ahead of California now, 3-1. Rico Carty has hit a 2-run homer in the fourth inning for Cleveland. The pitch to Ogilvy. Strike 3 called. He struck him out. Blue records his third strikeout. Second time he's gotten Ogilvy. The batter will be Steve Kemp, who is 2 for 2 off Blue, the only Tiger with 2 hits. Kemp singled in the Tiger run in the first inning, doubled up the gap in right center in the fourth. Blue getting a sign from Earl Williams. Into the motion, they pitch to Kemp. He fouls that one off the top of somebody's head down at the plate, either the catcher Williams or Joe Brinkman, the plate umpire, and it bounced off the screen. The man from Mansfield, Louisiana, Vida Blue, into the motion, the one-strike pitch. It's high for a ball, 1-1 on Kemp. 2 out, bases empty. The game tied 1-1 here in the last of the 6th inning. Kemp, slightly open stance to the plate. Wiggles that bat. The 1-1 pitch to him. Low and inside. 2-1 on Steve. Vida won 18 games last year for the A's, after a 22-win performance the year before. Fastball, low and away. Boy, that was smoke. 3-1 on Kemp. Two out, nobody on. A 3-1 count on Steve Kemp. There's the windup. They pitch from Vida. Foul to the screen. Full count on Kemp. Tigers have left 3 on base in the ball game. The A's have left 2. Good pitching by both Vida Blue and John Hiller. Full count on Kemp now with 2 out, bases empty. Blue winds, and it's foul to the screen. The battle continues. That 60 feet 6-inch area. Now the full count pitch again. Into the upper deck behind the plate. Kemp had just enough to get a piece of that one. He had already committed himself, was way out in front of it. Now let's see what kind of a pitch he gets. Kemp with a word for the umpire and for Williams, and the 3-2 pitch to him. Tie for ball 4. That fastball stayed high. So Kemp works his way to first base with a walk. Second walk given up by Blue. Rob Piccolo, the shortstop, coming into the cap with Blue. And here's Mickey Stanley stepping in. Mickey with a single for 2 trips. The A's have 6 hits. The Tigers have 4. This game has belonged to the pitchers. And for a while to the elements, the rain. And we're getting a little sprinkle. Kemp almost caught leaning the wrong way at first base, but he got back. Yep, we're getting some sprinkles again here at the stadium. A high stretch by Blue. Another throw to first. Number 60 at first base, Dick Allen. More rain on the way. 1 run would be very good right now. The pitch to the plate is as he delivered to the plate. Set. And they've got a picked off. The throw behind. Allen goes to second, and cut down is Kemp, As he got picked off by Vita Blue, the play will go 1-2-4, or 1-3-4 on Kemp. And that retires the Tigers here in the sixth inning. No runs, no hits, a walk, no errors, nobody left. After 6 innings of play, it's still the Tigers 1 and the A's 1.
News, weather, farm information, sports, business activities, and so much more. It's all a part of Town and Country mornings at 5 here on America's great radio station.
Game tied 1-1 in the 7th, and here's Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. Dick Allen takes the first pitch from John Hiller. It's outside for a ball. Each team got to run the opening inning, and that's all the scoring so far. Now, Allen looks at a Hiller changeup that hits the inside corner on the right-hand side of the 1-1 the count on Dick. 1 run, 6 hits for the A's. The Tigers 1 run and 4. Too close. 2-1 Allen. Here it comes. He takes another one in close, and it is a leading it off. He has struck out and popped to second base so far tonight. Outfield is to left. Miller winds, kicks, delivers. Allen takes. It is high. He walked him. That is the first walk issued by John Hiller. He struck out 8, and he's allowed a hit total of 6. Here's Earl Williams coming for that. Williams fouled to the catcher, May, in the second inning, and in the fourth inning had a bunt single just to the first base side of the mound under the glove. Allen on first base, good base runner. Stanley holding on the bag with him. Dick gets the lead, and the pitch is swung on and lifted foul into the right field corner down toward the Oakland bullpen. Oakland scored in the opening inning when Alexander, the leadoff man, hit a single to left, stole second, went to third when Sanguillen flied to right, and came home on a wild pitch. The Tigers tied the game with 2 out in the first inning on a single by Ogilvy. He stole second and came home on a single by Kemp. Here's a pitch high, and they count 1-1 on Williams. So the stolen base has figured in the scoring of the 2 runs. 1 by each team. Infield and double play depth. Here's the set. Earl Williams takes a strike on the outside. Well, the Tigers have pulled off 3 double plays, 1 on a strikeout and the other 2 on ground balls. And the A's have picked up 1 deep lead. 1-1 tie, 7th inning at Tiger Stadium. Bounding ball back to Hiller. May get 2. Throw to second at Fuentes. There's 1. Relay to Stanley. Double play. A bounce to the Hiller at the mound. He fired to the second baseman Fuentes, who relayed to Stanley. And the Tigers get their 4th double play. Rich McKinney, who is singled and bounced into a double play, will be the batter. Designated batter. He's a right-hand hitter. Takes a fastball from Hiller wide, ball 1. Minnesota leading Baltimore in the 7th inning, 7-1. Boston beat New York 5-1. Cleveland had a California 3-1 in the 5th. The Indians are hot. Here's a ball in too close, 2-0 on McKinney. And the Indians will be here at Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. Mark the Bird Fidrich will be pitching his second time out. He'll be facing Bibby. There's a foul out of play. Hawks and reserve seats are available for that appearance for the Bird tomorrow night. We hope you'll be out here with us. And the Tigers play Cleveland again the next night, and that'll be all for this homestand. They'll head out to the West Coast. And won't be back until the 14th of June. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high foul off a third. Mankowski drifting over. He may have room. He's at the fence, and he can't get it. Goes in about 2 or 3 rows. 2-2 the count on McKinney. Here's the National League final. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. The Phillies are Lee is the winner. He's forward to Colby and Renee Mendoza. He's 3-1. Miller delivers. There's a swing and a foul out of play back at the plate. Demery started for Pittsburgh. Foster in the 4th, Underwood in the 5th, to Colby in the 6th inning, Jackson in the 7th. Lurch and Reed were the pitchers for the Phillies. There's a high pop-up foul between home and third. Mankowski is there. He has it for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the last half of the seventh. Tigers 1, Oakland 1. 1-1 deadlock, seventh inning. Mickey Stanley will lead it out for Detroit. Vida Blue and John Hiller, two fine left-handers, have dueled away here, going all the way. And we're getting some rain. It was a sprinkle for a while. It is now rain at Tiger Stadium. Earlier, the game was delayed 42 minutes. Right after the start of the fourth inning. Now the rain has returned. Stanley with a bounce to shortstop and a single to right. Tigers have their best scoring chance after their score in the first inning. There in the fourth inning, a leadoff double by Kemp. Stanley singled him to third. And then Watkins popped out and May hit into a double play to get the Vida Blue off the hook. 1-1 tie, last out of the seventh. Vida pitches and Mickey takes a fastball high, ball one. Now this one has belonged to the pitchers. The four Tiger hits, two by Kemp, one by Ogilvie and one by Stanley. Kemp has the only extra base hit of the game, a double. Now the pitch on the way. Mickey takes a strike. Fastball above the belt. 1-1 the count on him. Stanley playing first base this evening. Second game of the set with Oakland. Oakland won the first one last night. Now Vida winds the pitches, line drive, base hit into right field. Dan Guillen comes over to his right to field the ball, and Stanley gets his second hit of the night. And John Watkins will be the batter. John has bounced out and popped up to second base. John has to send a special hello to his father, Bill Watkins, who gets in the truck there in Wilmington, Delaware, goes out and tunes in the ball game. They're looking for the bunt from Watkins. Tigers playing for that one run. Now let's see if Vida can serve the ball up. If he does, it's outside for a ball. Ball one. Ready the bunt. He didn't offer on that one. 1 run, 6 hits for the A's. 1 run, 5 hits for the Tigers. Each team has committed an error. Stanley trying to get a lead at first base. Vida Blue will keep an eye on him. Allen holding on the bag with Mickey. Not much of a lead over there. Here's the pitch. Watkins squares, bunts the ball. It's foul back at the plate. 1-1 the count on John. Milt May waiting at the on-deck circle. And then it'll be Mankowski here in the Tigers' seventh inning. Neither team has scored since the first. Blue checking his sign with Williams. The left-hander for Oakland sets and kicks and delivers. Here's a ball outside. Once again, Watkins ready to lay down a bunt. He didn't go for that one. The Mets are leading Montreal 6-2 in the ninth inning. We assume that their new manager, Joe Torre, is managing them tonight. Cardinals lead the Cubs 5-0 at the end of 6 in St. Louis. Here's a bunt down the first base side. It's rolling foul picked up by Allen, and it is a 2-2 count on Watkins. The Dodgers and Houston are tied 2-2 there in the seventh. And Atlanta leads Cincinnati in the eighth inning 3-2 at Cincy. Coming back, taking a look down at Fred Hatfield, the third base coach. Tomorrow night, Mark Fidrich against the Indians. It'll be Jim Bibby on the mound for Cleveland. Thursday night, the Tigers close out their homestand. Dave Rosemar against Pat Dobson of the Indians. Seeing a lot of two-game series in this new alignment. Here's the pitch. He takes the ball high and away. It is a full count on Watkins. Tigers trying to get it going here. It's a tie game, 1-1 in the seventh inning. Outfield playing John straightaway, the infield halfway up. Allen still holding on the bag with Stanley. Blue checks his sign and fires over to first, and Mickey back in time. A little suspicious of the motives of Mickey Stanley now with a 3-2 pitch. Nobody out. Stanley edges off a little bit more, draws another throw. He's back easily. Game tied, 1-1, man on, and nobody down, 7th inning. The Tigers at bat. Now Rockenfuss not quite ready. He steps away for a moment, beginning again. Blue goes to the set position, fires over to first again. Didn't really fire that one, just a little lob. And the crowd a little bit impatient. Rockenfuss waiting on a full count delivery. Stanley doesn't go. The ball is fouled to the screen. Well, the crowd never boos when the home team pitcher throws to first base, but they usually do when the other team pitcher does. Still raining at Tiger Stadium. Ball is popping up again. Rockenfuss with a full count delivery coming up from Vita Blue. John takes it. Oh, he walked in. Joe Coleman throwing down in the bullpen. And Bob Lacey, the left-hander. First around now. Williams goes out to talk with Vita. The Tigers have 2 men on and nobody down. A single by Stanley and a walk to Rockenfuss. First ball sensation identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Warren Pierce knows your city and your interests. Evenings from 7 to 10. And Jay Roberts guides you to the new dawn on Night Flight. Evenings at 11:30. It's friendship you've come to expect from WJR Detroit.
Milt May waiting, and he squares to bunt and takes the ball low. Ball 1 on Milt. Bounced to third and bounced to short. On the ground ball to short, it was converted into a double play. 1-1, the game tied, 7th inning. The Tigers have another threat now. Stanley at second, Rockenfuss at first base. Nobody down, and May at the plate. Ball 1 to count on Milt. Gross is in close at third. Here's the pitch. He takes a strike, ready to bunt, didn't offer. The fastball got in above the knees. Allen charging in from first base. Gross has got to be the swinging door down there at third. Either field the ball or get back and cover third on the potential force play, depending on where May bunts the ball, if he bunts it. Now it's a 1-1 count on Milt, the left-hand batting catcher. Stanley not getting much of a lead at second. Here's the pitch. He squares, he bunts the ball toward third. Blue fields it, throw to third, and safe. At third is Stanley. The bases are loaded. Blue threw the ball a little bit wide of the bag. Gross came off. Stanley slid in. He's safe. We'll wait for the scorer's decision. The bases are loaded with Tigers. Game tied 1-1. It'll be a sacrifice. No time at bat, charge to May. And a fielder's choice. Mankowski with a chance to get the Tigers ahead. Infield will be pulled in almost to the inner grass. Now they're going to back up a little bit. Bill is struck out and fly to right against the left-hander Vita Blue. 1-1 deadlock. Bases loaded, nobody down. The wind-up in the pitch. Letter high fastball from the Oakland left-hander. May on first, Rockenfuss at second, Stanley at third. The game tied 1-1, nobody out. Good on the screen. Got out in front of that one. So 2 quick strikes. Mankowski. Verizon waits on deck. Blue got out of difficulty in the 4th inning. He's got to do it again here. Now checks his time with Williams. Rocks and pitches. Here's a fastball high. 1-2. The count on Phil Mankowski. and the rain is getting harder now. Bases loaded with Tigers, nobody down. Mankowski digging in to wait on the 1-2 delivery from Vida Blue. Here it comes. He takes a high one. That one is steered by Williams as he reached up with his mitt. Almost got away from the catcher. Now he wants to talk to Vida Blue. Blue wiping his left hand off on his pant leg. Now goes back for the rosin bag. Mankowski has gripped the count to 2-2. Allen backing up a little bit at first base. Gross is still leading to the bag with wide at third. Now Vada ready to go to work. They wind up and the pitch to Mankowski. He takes the ball high. It is a full count on Phil Mankowski. Something has to happen right now. The base is loaded. The game tied 1-1 in the 7th inning. Nobody out. It's a full count pitch coming up to Mankowski. The windup. Here it is. He swings at the bounding ball to right. Base hit. Stanley scores. He's come home. Rounding third and holding his walking puck. The bases are still loaded. The Tigers lead 2-1. As Mankowski delivers the bases loaded single. A ground ball between Perez and Allen and on into right field. 2-1, Detroit in the lead. Perez is not going to bat. It'll be Rusty Staub. He's been out with a foot injury. Rusty hit a ball down on his foot, you remember, a couple of games ago. And we may get a pitching change here. Jack McCown has come out to the mound now as Staub has been announced. Rusty's batting .228. He has Lacey, the left-hander, and Coleman, the right-hander, and he wants Lacey. He's given the left-hand signal. Now umpire Sherlock confirms that and tells Lacey to come on in. Oh, Lacey running in. He's a very colorful young man, they say. Monty Moore was telling me, Paul, that sometimes when Lacey's out in the bullpen and one of his teammates hits a home run, he'll run all the way in from the bullpen to congratulate him.
He wants to be part of it. Well, Lacey does not really have that much in the way of credentials. Coming up this year with the A's, as an example, his record last year in Tucson was 3 victories and 9 defeats. When he had to sit out the last whole month and a half of the season in Tucson and with an injury, and he has come back to make the ball club this spring. Kind of a surprise and a pleasant one to the owner and general manager Charlie Finley and to his manager Jack McKeon. Lacey was down for a while after the season began and then came up with the big club. But he pitched his way onto this roster. He has done an excellent job in relief for the A's. He is a spirited young man, as Ernie pointed out. And there have been some stories already about his major league career, his appearance against Reggie Jackson as an example. It was apparent one time when Reggie came up that he had said something to Reggie at the plate. And sure enough, he had. And in fact, after he struck out Reggie Jackson, he wig-wagged his finger at him, and the crowd loved it. So he's become quite a crowd favorite out in Oakland. Bob Lacey is his name. And so far this year, Lacey has 1 victory, 2 defeats, 1 save, but an excellent earned run average of 1.48. He's in a tight spot, Ernie. Rusty Staub at the plate now. 3 men on, nobody out. The Tigers have gone ahead. They lead it 2-1 in the 7th inning. Infield not quite up to the inner grass. The clutch single by Mankowski, who's had a few of them in this young season, sending the Tigers into the lead. Time called at the plate. Rusty's not quite ready. Lacey is 6'5" and weighs 200. But it is that it is a ball low. Tall, loose-limbed left-hander. When he lets that ball go, as they say, he goes every which way. Now checking his sign with the catcher Williams. The left-hander pitches again. Here's a ball low. It was over the plate. 2-0. The count on Staub.
Williams thought that one was in the strike zone. He turns and says something to umpire Brinkman. Tigers have taken the lead here in the 7th inning on the bases loaded single by Mankowski. They still have 3 men on and nobody down. Lacey in relief for Vida Blue. Now the motion on the 2-0 pitch. It's a pop-up over near first base. Perez goes down the line, back at first, and makes the catch. The infield fly rule was called. The ball has stayed fair by about 3 or 4 feet. So Staub, that pitch hitting, pops up to Perez, the second baseman, down the right field line. And the batter will be Ron LaFleur. Walk, he's 0 for 2. He's bounced to the pitcher, walk, and fly to right. Lacey delivers, and Ron takes a breaking ball over, strike 1. The Tigers have looked at Bob Lacey, who pitched last year at Tucson, where he won 3 and lost 9. There's a ball outside, the fastball low and away. 1-1 the count on it. First time in the big leagues for this young man this season. Now leans in to get his sign. Flipping that left arm a little bit. Now goes into action. The 1-1 pitch. LaFleur swings on a bounding ball past third. For a base hit. Hawkins comes in. Rounding third and holding on. Here's Milt May, and he shoots on back to third base, and Mankowski holds at second. May made a big turn at third and then scooted back head first. And the Tigers have the lead 3-1. An RBI single from LaFleur. Luedes will be the next man to bat. He's bounced to short, line to short, and hit a fly ball to left field. Tito batting right-handed against the left-hander. He takes the ball to cover, but 2-0 ball 1 on Tito Luedes. LaFleur at first, Mankowski at second, and May at third. 3-1, the Tigers have gone in front here in the 7th inning. Lacey pitches. Here's a foul to the screen. 1-1, they count on Tito. He takes his cap off, wipes off his face with his left hand. Now Tito decides he wants to step out. The little bit of rain we had, I think, is just about stopped now. 7th inning. 3-1, trying to add to that margin. Now they wind up, and here's the pitch. Swinging a... Going back as close. Piccolo is there, the shortstop, and they're both taking that one away from Piccolo, the shortstop. The ball ended up in foul territory. That'll leave it up to Ben Ogilvy. Bases are still loaded, and they're now 2 down. Ben's had a single and has struck out twice. Detroit in the lead. Left-hander versus the left-hander in this situation. Bases loaded, 2 down. Here's the wind-up, and here's the pitch. He takes a strike. In above the knees. Kemp waits on deck. Base hit right here could bust it wide open. Big lead for LaFleur at first base with Allen playing behind him. Now Lacey delivers. Here's a ball outside, a breaking pitch, caught away to Ben. Minnesota leads Baltimore 8-1 in the 8th inning. Cleveland over California 3-1 in the rain-delayed game at Cleveland there in the 10th inning. Boston beat the Yankees 5-1. Now Bob Lacey, relief pitcher, delivers. There's a strike ball. He got a fastball in. 1-2 to count on him. Final in from Shea Stadium, the map on the podium, your forward. A big hit lead, 9-62. Cincinnati defeats Atlanta 5-3. Here's the motion, the 1-2 pitch to Ogilvy. He takes the ball just off the corner. 2-2 the count on him. And steps out and takes a little practice cut. Outfield around the right, the infield deep now with the bases loaded and 2 down. And Lacey checking out his sign with the catcher, Williams. It's a 2-2 pitch on the way. He swings and fouls it off. Back at the plate in the dirt. Tiger RBIs tonight. Kemp won in the first inning and one by Mankowski and one by LaFleur. Both of those here in the 7th. And both on bases loaded singles. Ogilvy waits on another 2-2 delivery. He takes strike call, struck him out. Now Lacey did a pretty good job coming in there. But the Tigers got a couple of runs in the 7th inning. 2 runs and 3 hits. Now there were no errors, and the 3 Tigers are left on base. We go to the 8th at Tiger Stadium. It is Detroit 3 and the A's 1.
Township at Telegraph and E-Course roads. Repeating, there is some heavy flooding over some of the roads in Taylor Township at Telegraph and E-Course roads. Now let's get back to the ball game and Paul Carey and Ernie Harwell.
Will lead off for Oakland, and Scribbler goes in to play shortstop now for the Tigers. John Hiller working with a 2-run lead at 3-1. The Tigers are ahead going into the 8th inning. Tony Armas ready to step in. He struck out twice against John, who was racked up 8 strikeouts. But he's not had one in the last 2 innings. Here's a slow curve over on the right-hand batting limit. Strike 1. Outfield is straight up on him, and Steve Bukoff begins to warm up in the Tiger bullpen. High fly ball, short right field. Ogilvy following in under it now, and makes the catch for the out. And away, Marty Perez, another right-hander coming to bat. In the Cincinnati-Atlanta game, here are the finals now. Cincinnati had 5-8-0, Atlanta 3-11-0. Murray, the winner, he's 3-1. Negro takes a loss, he's 2-8. And in that Montreal-New York game, we told you the Mets won it. It was 6-12-0 for New York, 2-8-0 for Montreal. Swan, the winner, and Alcala, the loser. Here's a ball high, ball 1. Don't forget the scoreboard show. Paul will have all the scores for you when this game's over. Perez takes a strike call. Hitter got a breaking pitch over 1-1. That California-Cleveland game is now 5-4. California's taken the lead at the end of 5. Those fastballs over but low. 2-1 the count on Marty Perez. Tyrone will follow, Jim Tyrone. There's a foul upstairs. 2-2 the count on him. Tigers lead by 2, 3-1 in the 8th inning. Trying to break their losing streak that's gone to 6 games. Don't forget the Bird pitches tomorrow night against the Indians. Here's another foul upstairs. Still a 2-2 count on Marty Perez. A lot of baseball to use tonight. Wet field, of course, increasing the use of the baseball. Now the 2-2 pitch. It's a ball in too close. He curved him. 3-2 the count on Perez. Tigers got 2 in the 7th on a couple of bases loaded singles, one by Mankowski, one by LaFleur, to take the lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball hit the left field. It's deep. Going back is Kemp. Maybe it is out of here. A home run by Perez. His first of the year to cut the lead to 3-2. Just over the barrier on the lower deck in left field, Marty Perez hits a home run. I believe that's the first one he's ever hit in the American League. He had 20 in the National League. Here's Tyrone batting now, the big right-hand hitting outfielder. He struck out twice. And the hitter's curve hit the outside corner. Marty had played in only 16 games with California. Those are all his American League games. Here's a pitch in too close on Tyrone. And the count even on him 1-1. 3-2, the Tigers lead. The A's coming back with a bases empty home run by Perez. There's a high fly lifted center field. The floor is there waiting, almost motionless now. Hits in his glove for the second out. The batting order, Picholo due up, but Jorgensen is coming up to bat for him. This is the left-hand hitting Mike Jorgensen. He'll be batting for Picholo, the shortstop. Jorgensen hitting 182. He has 2 hits and 11 trips. Jorgensen at the plate against the left-hander hitter. First inning, Sanguillen hit a fly ball to the right field at Ogilvy. And after that, the Oakland team didn't hit a fly ball to the Tiger outfielders until here in the 8th inning when they hit 2 out that way. There's one down the left field line. It may go foul. It's slicing a little bit and is in foul territory out of play. Kemp comes over with the ball into the second row of seats past the Tiger bullpen. Strike 2, the count on Jorgensen. Young man from St. John's University. Got his start with the Mets. And they dealt him off to Montreal. Tigers with a 1-run lead. 3-2, 8th inning. Jorgensen in there waiting now. Heller delivers. Here's a curve outside. He missed that far corner. Around the right on Jorgensen. And he takes a low one, 2-2, the count on him now. Sanguillen waiting at the on-deck circle. 3-2 Tigers lead. Here it comes. He swings and misses. Struck him out. Hiller racks up his 9th strikeout. 1 run on 1 hit, the home run by Perez. No errors and nobody left. And we go to the last half of the 8th inning. It is the Tigers 3 and the A's 2. Rodney Scott, another ex-Expo, takes over at shortstop now for the Oakland A's. Picholo leaving the ball game in favor of the pinch hitter Jorgensen. Well, the Tigers come in the battle of the 8th inning. They have 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. The A's have 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Hiller's been in there all the way for the Tigers. Blues started for Oakland. Lacey relieved him in the 7th inning. And here's Kemp, who's had an RBI single in the 1st inning, a double in the 4th, and a base on balls in the 6th. 2 for 2 for Steve. Left-hander against the left-hander. After Kemp, it'll be Stanley and then Walkenfuss. 8th inning. And the big, tall left-hander Lacey about ready to go to work. Since the rain has stopped now at the ballpark. Here's a bunt attempt. It's a strike called. He ran up to zip the bunt. He didn't really offer on the pitch, and it got in above the knees. Final game of this 2-game series with Oakland. The Tigers entertain the Cleveland Indians. Good night. The Bird Fedrich will be on the mound. We hope he'll be out to see the Bird in action. He'll be pitching against Jim Bibby. That'll be Ross May against Boston in the final game of the homestand next night. Here's a ball low to Kemp. 1-1 the count on Steve. Cardinals beat the Cubs 6-0. It cooled off the Cubs a little bit. Here's the wind up from the front. Kemp takes a ball in too close on him. 2-1 the count. Tigers got a run in the first with a 2-out single by Ogilvy, a steal at second, and then he came home on Kemp's single. They scored 2 more to break the 1-1 tie in the 7th inning on a bases-loaded single by Mankowski and a bases-loaded single by LaFleur. Now the 2-1 delivery, and Kemp takes a strike, curve across. The A's got their first run in the 1st inning on a single by Alexander. He stole second with the third on a flyout and came home on a wild pitch, and then the A's scored their second run on a bases-empty home run by Perez in the 8th inning. The 2-2 pitch to Kemp on the way. He takes a strike call to get the inside corner above the knees with a fastball. Oh, Lacy racks up his second strikeout. Both on call third strikes. Here's Mickey Stanley, the Tiger veteran who's had a good night at the bat. 2 for 3 for Mickey. It was his single that started a 2-run surge, putting the Tigers in front. That was back in the 7th inning. We're now in the 8th, and the Tigers lead 3-2. Lacy kicks and deals. It is a ball outside on Stanley. All 3 Tiger runs were charged to the starting pitcher, Vida Blue. Outfield straight up on Mickey. Fouls it away. That was a check swing. He had a soft line drive over on the first base side. Here are the totals in that St. Louis game we told you about. Denny wins his 7th game in Fideva. He's 7-0. The Cardinals had 6-8-0. Chicago, no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Bonham, the loser. It was Denny 7-0 now, and Bonham is 6-4. Wind up, and they pitch to Stanley. Cut on, hit in the air to left field. It's deep. Going back is Tyrone. He's looking, and he leaps, and he won't get it. It's over the fence for a home run by Mickey. And the Tigers lead it 4-2. Number 5 for Mickey Stanley. Rounding third and coming home. Mickey Stanley's homer sends a free case of Superior potato chips to the League for the Handicapped Goodwill Industry. Remember, Superior potato chips contain no additives and no preservatives. Superior, completely natural food. It's the 3rd hit tonight for Stanley. 4-2, the Tigers lead. 1 out, nobody on in the 8th. Ball down the line and right, and they go foul. Sanguillen chasing it into foul territory on the run. Good play by Manny Sanguillen, the right fielder. That's 2 outs for the Tigers. It'll bring up the left-hand batting catcher, Milt May. Tiger RBIs tonight. LaFleur, Kemp, Stanley, and Mankowski 1 apiece. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Detroit, 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for the A's. Ready to go to work. There's a fly ball. Is out of here. A home run by May. It's the 3rd goal. Tigers lead it 5-2. The 4th home run by May. 2 homers in this 1 inning by the Tigers. Here's a home run, and that sends a free case. Out Superior potato chips to the Lewis house. Remember, Superior potato chips contain no additives or preservatives. They're a completely natural food. By Stanley, and May pick up 2 runs. 7-0 errors and nobody left. We go to the 9th inning. Tigers 5, the A's 2.
Let's be spirited away once again to Rio with Rio 1 and Jerry Mulligan.
Music for Martyrs with Gene Elsie, Saturday night, 6:30 to 11 on WJR.
We ask only one thing of you, and that's simply that you pay that very minimal price. That simply bring a friend along with you each Saturday when you come, and we'll have lots of fun all evening Saturday. We're going to get back to the more traditional kind of sounds here with Oscar Peterson and friends. But if I were a bell, I'd probably swing and ring all over the place. Letta and Bulu, the album called There's Music in the Air, and we haven't had a recording by Letta and Bulu for quite some time. She's a South African vocalist, did some touring of the United States some years ago. I would imagine still living in the United States, though we haven't really heard it. Thank you for being with us.
Music for Moderns with Gene Elsie, Saturday night, 6:30 to 11 on WJR.
Before we get back to the game, this is Jimmy Lance with a quick reminder that we're here with music, the Zanies from Studio B, special guests, and more. Mornings at 10 on WJR Radio.
Manny Sanguillen will lead it off against John Hiller. John's gone all the way. He's working with a 5-2 lead now in the ninth inning at Tiger Stadium. Right-hand batting Sanguillen stepping in. He's had 2 singles and 3 trips. And he takes a strike. The breaking ball above the knees. Outfield is straight away on Manny. Gross and Allen will follow. It's the thick part of the batting order for Oakland. The kick and the pitch. He swings and fouls it away. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Nothing is as permanent as change, and Radio 76 helps you to understand with time-tested, reliable reporting. And from Lou Gehrig to Mark Friedrich, Radio 76 has been a part of all of that. It's sports information you've come to expect from WJR Detroit.
Sanguillen resettling himself into the batter's box. 2-strike pitch from Hiller. Swinging a bounding ball to left. It'll be a hit. That's his 3rd straight single with Jim Hiller. Sanguillen wants to do the whole team in the ninth inning here, starting it off with a single. Wayne Gross, the big left-hand hitting third baseman, step again. Three hits to me, 3 of them by Sanguillen. He started off the base over there. I don't know whether we were going to get a pinch runner or not. Yep, that's what's going to happen here. It'll be Murray. Murray running for Sanguillen. And the pitch to Gross is a high fastball, ball 1. Foucault continues to work in the Tiger bullpen. Ninth inning, the Tigers lead by 3, 5-2. Infield and double play depth. Here's the pitch. It's a ball outside. He curved him wide. Hiller snaps at the ball with his glove when May throws it back to him. Stanley playing behind the run at first base, guarding the line. And Gross looks at a fastball over. He was looking all the way on that one. 2-1, the count on Wayne. Dick Allen wakes back. Now the set by Hiller, the kick on the pitch. Swing, there's a base hit to left center field. Over the field, the ball comes to the floor. Murray holds it second. A throw by the 4 into Mankowski. And Hiller comes over to back up third. And there's Ralph Hout coming out of the dugout. About the time that ball was hit, Ralph jumped out of that dugout and started out to the mound. He's walking back to the mound now with Hiller. Foucault throwing in the bullpen, and Hout has given the sign for the right-hander to come in. Well, Foucault is running in from the bullpen. Hiller, who pitched a good, strong game, giving up back-to-back singles here to start the ninth inning. Oh, there's the ball handed by Hiller to Foucault, and John gets a nice round of applause from the Tiger fans as he comes into the Tiger dugout. So he'll leave 2 runners on the bases and leave the game with the Tigers ahead 5-2.
A well-deserved round of applause for John Hiller for the work he's done tonight, but it's been a long night for John. Hiller, you'll recall, had to sit around a 42-minute rain delay in the top of the 4th inning, but he came back strongly, and in fact, in the 5th inning, struck out the side. He gave up the home run in the 8th inning to Marty Perez, his first of the season. Walked a man in the 7th, with hit for a double play. 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 7th innings by Detroit. But John leaves the ball game in a position where he cannot be the loser. He can only be a winner. He has worked 8 full innings, pitching to 2 men in the ninth. Allowed the 2 runs, given up 9 hits. John walked 1, the walk coming in the 7th, and he struck out 9. Another excellent performance by John Hiller in the starting role for the Tigers, back-to-back. He did it last week against the Angels, only to lose a toughie to Nolan Ryan. Now Steve Foucault, coming out of the bullpen, has a job. Steve was on the mound last on Sunday against Seattle, coming on in relief, and was tagged with a defeat in that ball game as he went the last 3 innings and gave up 2 runs. But generally has pitched excellently for the Tigers this year, and he's got to have it here right now. Ernie?
Facing the tough part of this batting order, Dick Allen and then Williams on deck, and then the designated batter, McKinney. Nobody out, 2 men on, and the pitch is in for a strike on Allen. The right-hand batting first baseman took that one. Now Steve to the belt, holds it and delivers. There's a swing and a miss by Dick Allen. Strike 2, the count on him. Murray, the pinch runner at second base. Wayne Gross at first base. 9th inning, the Tigers trying to hang on to the lead. 5-2. Who called delivers? Here's a strike called. He looked at 1 too many. Allen is called out on strike. And now Earl Williams, who has fouled the catcher, had a bunt single and hit into a double play, steps up. And Rich McKinney comes to the on-deck circle. Runners edging off. The Tigers lead 5-2, 9th inning, 1 man down. Here's a line shot to right field. It's foul. Ooh, that was close. It had sort of down on the handle of the bat, but it had enough to get over first base and went foul by 3 feet. Into the right field corner. Strike 1. That's the count on Williams. Two men on, 1 man down for the Oakland A's. Outfield straight up on Earl Williams. Mankowski very deep at third near the line. There's a ball that jams him in close, 1-1. And the pitch. He takes another one in close. 2-1, the count on Earl. Off, reaching over from Pebbles, over the dugout steps. Fred Hatfield pacing up and down, watching the action. Now the set, the 2-1 delivery. Swinging the boundary ball, it's slowly towards short. Scribner flips it over to second for 1. That's all they'll get. A rolling block by Gross, and Puedes moved out of the way, held on to the ball wisely. I don't think he had a shot at the double play. On to third goes Murray. Out at second is Gross on the force out, and safe at first is Williams. That means 2 down, runners at first and third, and Rich McKinney will be the batter. Ball hit very slowly in the wet high grass, and Scribner grabbed it and flipped it over to Puedes for the out. Football faces McKinney, who's had a single, has hit into a double play and fouled out the third. Lentz, the speedster, is running for Williams at first base. That's Larry Lentz, L-I-N-T-Z, so there are 2 pinch runners in there now. A lot of running speed on this Oakland team. Time called by Joe Brinkman. A ball was loose from the Tiger bullpen and left and has to be chased down by a stadium guard. Tigers lead it 5-2 over the A's in the 9th. Outfield straight up on McKinney. And the pitch swung on and popped foul, maybe out of play. Here comes May over near the seat. He'll have room, and he makes the catch. The game's over. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left in the 9th. And the final score, the Tigers 5 and the A's 2.
Now, from City National Bank, new subordinated notes that make it possible for Michigan residents to earn a steady 9% interest per year for the 7-year life of the notes. These notes are available for as little as $500 and in increments of $100 above that.
The 9% interest will be paid quarterly by check or by deposit to a CNB savings or checking account. The offer for the sale of these notes is made only by the offering circular. The notes are not deposits and are not insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
There's been quite a roller coaster ride. Last June and July, they were at the top.
And public creditors of the bank. For complete details on subordinated notes and how you can earn a steady 9% interest per year for the 7-year life of the notes, visit any CNB office.
Kentucky officials say a preliminary report on the cause of that Beverly Hills Supper Club fire will kill 100. The Atlanta Fire Department needs a new fire chief now that J.I. Gibson has left to head up the Fulton County Fire Bureau. Atlanta Public Safety Commissioner Reginald Eves says because of a court ruling for
Well, the Tigers have ended their 6-game losing streak thanks to some strong pitching by John Hiller and some fine relief work by Steve Foucault in the ninth inning, and some power blows by Mickey Stanley and Milt Day in the 8th inning that eased things somewhat after the Tigers kept turning into head of Oakland with a couple of runs in the 7th inning to break the 1-1 tie. For Detroit, 5 runs, 9 hits and 1 error. The Tigers left 6 on base. For Oakland, 2 runs, 9 hits and 1 error.
Will showcase a variety of Atlanta artists in a free mini festival
from
from 6
game of
to
the
10
year. He has won 3. Blue going 6 innings, pitching to 4 Tigers in the 7th before departing Bob Lacey by going the rest of the way. And Blue gave up 3 of the 5 Tiger runs. For Detroit, Hiller went 8 innings and pitched 2 men of the ninth before giving way to Steve Foucault. Hiller picked up his second win of the year against 5 defeats. His first win as a starting pitcher, and Foucault deserves his 3rd save of the year. The game took 2 hours and 21 minutes to play. That does not count the 42-minute rain delay for the crowd of 7,067 on hand. And I'll recap the scoring in 1 minute.